Hidden in vaults and forgotten armories lie America's rarest guns, weapons built once and never again. Each one was forged with genius, risk, and raw ambition. Some changed wars, some vanished for a century, and one shouldn't even exist. These aren't just guns. They're time machines made of steel and wood. Every scratch tells a story, every trigger a moment in history. This is the 20 rarest American guns of all time. Let's open the vault. At number 20, the Remington Ryder pocket pistol. From the 1860s, this tiny, elegant piece was Remington's quiet experiment in personal defense. Only a handful were made with the rare double-action mechanism, a design decades ahead of its time. Collectors call it the gentleman's derringer. Finding one today with its original finish is like finding a silver coin in a desert storm. Number 19, the Spencer repeating rifle Civil War prototype. In 1860, Christopher Spencer designed a rifle that could fire 7 shots before reloading unheard of in a war of single shots. President Lincoln himself tested it on the White House lawn. But what few know is that the very first prototypes, made by hand, numbered less than 20. Most were destroyed in trials. One survives, darkened by age, perhaps still bearing Lincoln's fingerprint of approval. Coming in at 18, the Colt 1849 pocket model, engraved presentation. This was the weapon of merchants and pioneers. But this particular Colt isn't famous for who fired it, it's famous for who received it. Presented to Senator Sam Houston, engraved with gold vines, this gun was believed lost in a fire in 1881. It reappeared at a private estate sale, selling for over $700,000. A palm-sized legend, reborn from ashes. Number 17 is the Winchester Model 1873 low serial prototype. Known as the gun that won the West, yet the earliest prototypes, serial numbers below 100, were never meant for sale. They were test beds that defined the entire production line. Out of those first 100, only 4 remain. One rests inside the Cody Firearms Museum, its blued barrel still pristine after nearly 150 years. To hold it is to touch the blueprint of an era. At number 16, we have the Colt Patterson, the first Colt revolver from 1836. Before Colt became a household name, there was the Patterson, a strange, fragile revolver that looked almost alien. It was the world's first commercially successful repeating handgun, and Samuel Colt built fewer than 1,000 before his company went bankrupt. Most rusted away on Texas battlefields, but a pristine one in its case recently surfaced at auction for over $1 million. The starting point of an empire, we've only scratched the surface. From here, the guns get strange or custom built, royal engraved, or forged for wars the world had never seen. Let's dive into number 15, the Smith & Wesson Model 320 revolving rifle. Imagine a revolver that fires like a rifle. In 1879, Smith & Wesson merged the two. The result was a weapon so ahead of its time, people didn't know what to do with it. Only 977 were ever made. Most were recalled because the cylinder gap blasted hot gas into the shooter's wrist. Today, only a few dozen survive, each one a beautiful, dangerous experiment. Number 14 is the Colt Walker revolver. This wasn't just a handgun, it was a hand cannon. Designed for the Texas Rangers, it fired a .44 caliber round powerful enough to drop a horse. But its power came with a price. Barrels burst and cylinders cracked. Soldiers feared their own guns. Only about 1,100 were made, and fewer than 200 exist today. Holding one feels less like touching a weapon and more like holding lightning in iron form. At 13, the Remington Model 1875 Frontier Revolver, Factory Nickel Edition. When the Wild West was still wild, Remington planned to dethrone Colt's Peacemaker. A few special editions left the factory in pure nickel finish with mother-of-pearl grips. Production, fewer than 30. One of these gleaming revolvers was carried by a Pinkerton agent and stopped a robbery cold without firing a shot. That gun still exists, its shine untarnished. Number 12 is the Johnson M19 for one rifle, paratrooper prototype. Before the M1 Garand ruled the battlefield, the U.S. military tested the Johnson rifle. Fewer than 100 paratrooper prototypes were made, each with a collapsible stock. It was smoother, lighter, and faster to reload than the Garand, but politics killed it before it ever saw full service. When one resurfaced in 2019, it sold for over $250,000. A reminder that sometimes the better gun doesn't win the war. At number 11, the Savage Model 1907 Trials automatic pistol. Before the military chose the Colt 1911, there was a fierce competition. Savage Arms entered with their futuristic Model 1907. Only 278 of these test pistols were made for the military trials. Some say it was smoother and more accurate than Colt's design. But history chose differently, and each of those trial pistols today is a ghost from a moment when the future of American sidearms hung in the balance. We've seen the weapons that shaped legends, but from here, things get stranger. Secret prototypes, presidential gifts, guns that existed in single digits. We're now crossing into the top 10, where myth and machine become one. Number 10. The Colt 1911 Singer model. During World War II, the U.S. military needed thousands of 1911 pistols. But one company, known for sewing machines, was asked to produce just 500 Singer manufacturing. Their craftsmanship was so precise, every Singer 1911 was hand-fitted and stamped with a tiny S. They became instant legends. One found in an attic in 2017 sold for over $400,000. At number 9, the Winchester Model 1887 lever-action shotgun, factory short barrel. Long before Hollywood made it iconic, this John Browning design brought lever action to shotguns. Few know Winchester secretly built a handful of factory short barrel versions for stagecoach guards. Most were destroyed when the National Firearms Act came into effect. Fewer than 10 are verified to exist. Seeing one is like watching a movie frame step out of history. Number 8 is the Volcanic pistol. Before Winchester, there was Volcanic, a tiny company whose ideas changed firearms forever. Their pistol used a self-contained rocketball cartridge, a wild experiment that inspired later lever-action repeaters. Only a few hundred were made before the company went bankrupt. Its founders, a man named Horace Smith and another named Daniel Wesson. That's right, the birth of Smith and Wesson began with this failure. Today, a mint Volcanic pistol can fetch over $1 million. At number 7, the Colt Texas Patterson holster model, the rarest of the Patterson line, built for the Texas Rangers. The revolver came in a velvet-lined case with hand-engraved accessories. Each complete set is worth more than most homes. But what makes it priceless is the legend. A Texas Ranger named Samuel Walker carried one, inspiring the creation of the powerful Colt Walker that followed. This gun is the seed of the American frontier myth. Number 6, the Thompson Model 1921 Persian Contract submachine gun. We all know the Tommy gun, but the Persian Contract Edition is another story. In the 1930s, the Iranian government ordered just 250 customized Thompsons engraved with Farsi script and royal crests. When the deal fell through, most were melted down. A few survived, smuggled home by American advisors. Their intricate engravings shimmer like calligraphy on steel, a reminder that even tools of war can be works of art. As we move into the final 5, the stories reach their peak. Guns built for presidents, for wars that never happened, and one so mysterious that even the Smithsonian doesn't have a record of its origin. These are the crown jewels of American craftsmanship. Let's dive into the world of firearms that are more legend than steel, artifacts so rare they're practically myths. These aren't just guns, they're chapters of American history, each with a story that's priceless. We're counting down the 7 most legendary American firearms ever made. Starting at number 7, we have the Colt Texas Patterson holster model from 1839. This is the rarest of the famous Patterson line, specifically built for the legendary Texas Rangers to use on horseback. Imagine opening its velvet-lined case to find not just the revolver, but matching powder flasks, spare cylinders, and bullet molds, all intricately hand-engraved. A complete set today is worth more than most houses, but its value isn't just monetary. The legend says a Texas Ranger named Samuel Walker carried one of these into battle, and his experience inspired the creation of the powerful Colt Walker revolver that followed. This gun isn't just a piece of metal, it's the very seed from which the myth of the American frontier grew. Coming in at number 6 is a gun you think you know, the Thompson submachine gun. But this isn't your average Tommy gun. This is the Thompson Model 1921 Persian Contract Edition. In the 1930s, the Iranian government ordered 250 of these iconic guns, but with a unique twist. Each was customized with beautiful Farsi script and royal crests engraved into the steel. Unfortunately, the deal fell through, and most of these magnificent pieces were ordered to be melted down. Only a handful survived, reportedly smuggled home by American advisors. Seeing one is breathtaking. The intricate engravings shimmer like calligraphy on the cold steel, a stunning reminder that even the tools of conflict can be breathtaking works of art. We're now moving into the final 5, where the stories become even more incredible. We're talking about guns crafted for presidents, designed for wars that never happened, and one so mysterious that its origins are a complete blank. These last 5 aren't just weapons, they are the crown jewels of American craftsmanship. At number 5, we have the Colt U.S. Grant Presentation Revolver Set from 1869. After the Civil War, Samuel Colt's company wasn't just making tools for battle, they were creating legacies. And none stood taller than the set of revolvers presented to General Ulysses S. Grant. These weren't meant for a battlefield, they were diplomacy forged in metal. Engraved with gold and silver, with ivory grips exquisitely carved with eagles and intricate scroll work, they symbolized victory and a nation's hope for unity. Each set was made by hand, making every single one unique. The Grant set itself vanished for nearly a century, a lost piece of presidential history, before resurfacing in a private collection in 2018 with a valuation of over $2 million. It's proof that in post-war America, a revolver could be as revered as a king's crown. Number 4 takes us on safari with one of America's most iconic presidents. It's the Winchester Model 1895 Teddy Roosevelt Safari Rifle. Few figures in history embraced the strenuous life, or firearms, quite like Theodore Roosevelt. His personal Winchester 1895, chambered in the powerful .405 Winchester, was his trusted companion during his legendary African safari in 1909. He affectionately called it his big medicine. In his honor, Winchester built a handful of presentation-grade 1895s just for him. These rifles were works of art with finely checkered stocks and engravings of elephants and lions. Those special presentation models, only to verified originals, are known to exist today. When you look at the scratches and wear on its stock, you're not just seeing wood and steel. You're re-looking at history itself, the marks left by a president who believed that adventure was the very heart of the American spirit. At number 3, we uncover a ghost from the dawn of air combat, the Springfield 1903 Air Service prototype rifle. During the final, desperate days of World War I, American engineers faced a new challenge. Pilots in their fragile biplanes needed a rifle compact enough to fit in a cramped cockpit, but powerful enough to defend themselves if shot down behind enemy lines. In response, the Springfield Armory developed a radical solution. They built just 2 prototypes of a shortened 1903 rifle featuring a collapsible stock and a dramatically shortened barrel. But the war ended before these innovative weapons could be issued. In the aftermath, one of the prototypes simply disappeared, lost to time. The other now rests quietly in the Springfield Armory Museum, a phantom weapon from a conflict that concluded just as soon, a fascinating what-if from military history. Now for our runner-up, at number 2, a revolver so famous it's been called the Mona Lisa of Colt revolvers. This is the Hutton Colt Single Action Army from 1873. Thousands upon thousands of Single Action Army revolvers were made, but there is only one like this. Custom ordered directly from the Colt factory by George Hutton, a prominent railroad magnate, this gun wasn't just a tool. It was a statement. It was a symbol of immense wealth and the relentless march of progress in the American Age of Steel. The craftsmanship is simply on another level. Every single inch is covered in breathtaking detail and gold inlay, even the inside of the trigger guard. When it finally resurfaced at auction, collectors were stunned. It fetched a staggering $3.2 million, the highest price ever paid for a Colt revolver in history, cementing its place as a true masterpiece. And finally, at number 1, we have the most mysterious American handgun ever created. A firearm known only by its enigmatic title, the Black Prince. This is a one-of-a-kind Colt 1911. Built in 1918, it's finished entirely in a deep, lustrous black nickel plating, fitted with a grip made of pure obsidian, and features a gold-inlaid crest whose origin no one has ever been able to fully trace. There are absolutely no records of its commission, no factory orders, no letters, nothing. Some speculate it was a secret gift for a high-ranking Allied general. Others believe it was Colt's own clandestine presentation piece to mark the end of the Great War. Whatever its true purpose, only one was ever made. It surfaced briefly in a private collection long enough to be authenticated, and then, just as mysteriously, it vanished again. Its estimated value, over $5 million. But its real worth isn't in gold or dollars. It lies in the enduring mystery that keeps collectors and historians searching, decade after decade. Each of these incredible firearms is so much more than just metal and powder. They are tangible stories, fragments of the grand American experiment where invention met ambition, and together, they forged legends that have long outlived their makers. From Colt's very first revolver to the shadowy Black Prince, each piece carries the unique fingerprint of a dreamer, an artisan who believed in creating something truly exceptional, something all their own. That is the soul of American craftsmanship, and it's why these magnificent relics still speak to us today, even in their silence. If this journey through history sparked something in you, a fascination, a memory, or just a quiet sense of awe, then this is the channel for you. These are the stories we love to tell. Subscribe and join us on the hunt for more forgotten masterpieces of American ingenuity. The past still has plenty of secrets left to uncover, and we'll find them together. Thanks for watching.